Okay, so I didn't expect to be here tonight, mostly because I didn't think they'd be playing Impact tonight. I thought they would just kind of skip tonight and go right to Monday, because all they could talk about last week was how they're going to dominate Monday nights, and they even announced a match Monday night between Hogan and Flair and Abyss and AJ. But that's all they could talk about, and so tonight I had no idea what was going on. So, but lo and behold, I see a bunch of Twitter people saying like, "You should review tonight," and I check my PVR and I'm like, "Fuck, you're right." And actually, I'm not sure how much of this show I'm going to get because my PVR is really fucking up on me. It won't pause. I can't pause the show, and I have it tuned to a different channel right now, and so I don't know how much I got. So I may have missed the entire thing. I got the first segment and tried to pause it, and it wouldn't pause. And I don't know. The first thing I thought I would do is try to recap for those of you who haven't been following my Twitter feed. Even if you have, it may seem kind of unusual. You're not really getting the whole story. I tried to post as much of it on the front page as I could, but the weird little dialogue that's opened up, so to speak, between me and TNA President Dixie Carter. Ever since I found out that Dixie was on Twitter, because they keep posting a little picture of her and her Twitter name, TNA Dixie, I was like, all right, I had to follow this shit, so I follow it, and she actually does update. And so I started posting little reviews, very sarcastic, angry reviews about how much I enjoyed Impact. And a few of you, I'm sure, linked her to the vlog, which I'll get to. And so after a few of these messages, I get a direct message from Dixie. Swear, I totally did. And she says, and I quote, "What you talking about? You being mean?" And I'm actually reading it a different way than I interpreted it before. And a lot of you on the comment section are interpreting it the way I originally interpreted it, where she said it like, "What you talking about? You being me?" No, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. You being ugly? So I thought she said, "What you talking about? You being ugly?" So I thought she was calling me ugly. So I collision of my trains of thought. But apparently I'm talking to Angry Joe and Linkar online, and apparently it's some kind of, at least they say it down in Texas, where it's kind of a local saying, at least, or a southern thing maybe, where if you're asking someone if they're being ugly, you're asking if they're being mean. That's where I got the being mean thing from. So she asked, if you're being ugly, I was like, are you calling me physically ugly or being mean? And I can't tell because her message was so poorly worded and punctuated that it's hard to believe it comes from the keyboard of the president of a major corporation, so it was a little weird. And the second thing that was weird that happened was the next message that she posted on her Twitter feed was that she was setting up an official TNA Facebook fan page. And one of the first links that I saw on the sidebar under links was a link to the vlog. And I thought this was weird. I thought she had done this. That she was like, I will diffuse this asshole online by posting this really ridiculous, kind of a Leave Britney Alone style vlog. That's how I kind of interpreted the vlog I did last time, was this really manic, freakish, Lee, this Impact sucks, and I can't believe you guys like it as much as you do, but if you like watching me watch wrestling, fine, I'll do it. But apparently, in a very strange design decision, Facebook has this feature where in the left sidebar where you have links, any asshole who posts any random fucking link on your Facebook wall, it appears on this sidebar, which I imagine could be very readily abused, like posting very inflammatory, degrading, or derogatory vlogs against you on your own Facebook fan page, which I guess happened. I imagine that link will be taken down rather quickly, if it's not down already. But yeah, weird little exchange of words. She must have noticed something on her Twitter because she sent me a message. I don't know if she's still paying attention. I really doubt she saw the vlog. I can't imagine her having the time or inclination to watch that 95-minute just rambling freak show. But I hope she does. I hope she watches that thing and gets some valuable input out of that. Or if I'm just being ugly, I'd hate to think she interpreted that whole thing as me being this guy who is just I don't like TNA because I am set out not to like it. I am set out to just be trolling. I'm not. You know how much I want to like this show? Do you know how much I want to see good wrestling going on? How much I want to see Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Pope, Nigel McGuinness, all these guys, like, get in the ring and fucking show what they can do a lot. I want to like Impact. I want to like it a lot. I want to see good wrestling. I want to see a decent show weekly. Like, I'd love to see that on Raw, too. We don't get it from Raw, either. And believe me, the production values are about the only thing that saves Raw, and the fact that they do have some more natural promos, and they actually do get in the ring a little more. Not much, but trust me, the watermark right now is low for both shows. I would love to come on this screen and say, like, did you see Impact? That was awesome. Or did you see Raw? That was some cool shit. And I just can't. I mean, I that's why I'm here. It's like, this is why I do the reviews, is because I really hope someone sees this and is like, Jesus Christ, we got to save this show. Like, we got to stop talking and get to the fucking physicality, because that's the only, like, why else do you watch it? Seriously, like, when you have more than 7/8 of your program dedicated to these meatheads in the ring talking, that's not what we tune in for. We don't pay them to talk, okay? Not really. I mean, seriously, you gotta realize why people tune into these shows, and it ain't the acting. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to try to restrain myself a little more and try to tighten this review up. I actually don't think I'll have as much to say, because I kind of think I got most of it out of my system beforehand. But I may not have much more of this if I didn't get any of the fucking show. My PVR is fucking up on me. But anyway, I do have some Steinlager here, just in case it gets really bad. Anyway, I'm going to cut now and see if I got any more of the show, so be right back. Okay, well, there was a bunch of stuff that I missed. For some reason, the PVR screwed up on me, and I saw the first, like, 10 minutes of it, and then I probably missed about a full half hour of it, but we'll try to fill in the gaps as much as possible. To tell you the truth, I don't think I missed much. The first thing that happens was kind of a rehash of the same thing that closed off the last show, and I'm going to come back to this, but this kind of is systemic of what kind of seems like a backwards type of writing that goes on here, where they say something and then they repeat it and then they establish something they didn't do before. Okay, Ric Flair and AJ Styles come out, and they seem to come out for no better reason than just to have Hulk Hogan immediately come out and do his whole, like, let me tell you something, dudes, and they just basically repeat the whole thing where they're going to have this match Monday night. And basically, Ric Flair tries to chicken out of the match Godfather style by offering Hulk Hogan the 4 hoes that he's got with him. And of course, Hogan, being the epitome of goodness and honorable treatment of women, he's like, he starts like, let me tell you something, brother. He says, when I signed on with this company, I promised Dixie Carter that I would not get in this ring and lace up my boots. Unless I really, really wanted to. Well, that's what's going on, brother. Monday night, me and Abyss are gonna blah 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 blah. Lots of talking. The bit that really sold me on this one was Flair's always awesome, but he's like, Hogan, if you want any of these women, you can have 1 woman, you can have 2 women, you can have all 4 women. But that big retard over there, nothing. He points to, like, Abyss. He's like, look, we're sorry we pushed you, but Abyss, fuck you. Like, and Abyss comes to the ring. I am still flabbergasted at the idea that they are continuing to go forward with this gimmick that he has a super-powered ring. And it really does give him, like, the power of Hulkamania is flowing through this ring, and he is... You would not think this would be a serious storyline in any show. Like, even a wrestling show, you'd be like, seriously, the guy's got a superpowered ring? Yeah, he does. And he's coming to the ring, and he comes to the ring, I'm not even joking, in like a superhero pose, like he's Hal Jordan flying through the cosmos with the ring out in front of him. The only thing he's not doing is making like a freakazoid sound when he comes down the aisle. I'm Abyss. But yeah, he's like leading the way before him all the time. His picture when they announce matches with Abyss, he's like, just all the time with this ring. But they kind of do this thing where they're like, well, I'll see you Monday night. Then Bischoff comes out, because of course Bischoff has to be in every single segment. And he's like, hold on. We're going to have a 4 corners match for the TNA World Championship, where AJ is going to defend against, let me see, Abyss, Desmond Wolfe, and the Pope. and I still hate saying Desmond Wolfe because he's Nigel fucking McGuinness. And Jesus, I hate they cut his hair. He had the best hair in wrestling, Nigel McGuinness did, with the really, really stiff, frosted, like, it looked like a beer, It was kind of funny. And so, I guess my thinking is this. You've got AJ Styles as your world champion. The dude's got some marquee value. You announced this match. I don't think they should have announced the Monday night match when they did between Hogan and Flair, but that was the big headlining match. Hogan and Flair back from retirement, and if you're excited for this, please don't be. But then they announced this world title match just like on the fly, and how much that diminishes the importance of the world title when you kind of like, oh, by the way, world title match tonight. This is the kind of thing you build pay-per-views around. World title shots should be like rare and highly treasured, but just because Bischoff feels like, what I feel like, four corners match, then he just throws it out there. This is the kind of match that you throw out at the end of a show to build the next show. It might have given you a reason to watch Impact tonight if instead of pimping the Monday night match between two 50-plus-year-old men that you don't really want to see them wrestle around, but. What might have been a good match for Monday night? Announcing a world title match with four of your best wrestlers. No? No, they just throw it away at the end of a segment between Flair and Hogan because really the only wrestlers that we're supposed to care about in this match are Flair and Hogan. AJ Styles is like second banana in his own feud. I don't know how you do that, but the feud is not about AJ and Abyss. No, it's about Flair and Hogan. And in fact, they're not even really fighting over the title, they're fighting over the Hall of Fame ring. Because, and everyone wants the Hall of Fame ring now, it's more important than the title. Because after that, of course, more talking, they go back to Nigel McGuinness backstage, and there I go again, Desmond Wolfe, and he does this thing, and they're really trying to push up the fact that he's English by, like, you know how sometimes when you're, like, doing a bad stereotype of an Englishman, you're like, oh, bangers and mash, slimy rotter, got a fiver on you for tea and crumpets. Like really, really over-the-top stereotypes. That's how they got Desmond Wolfe talking right now. He just really ridiculous stuff like, oh, look, a Bobby down on the, riding a lorry down on the, I don't even know, just fucking out of his mind with this English lingo. Just, you know how... he talks like he's out of a Guy Ritchie movie, and he kind of even buries the TNA World Title in this case. He's like, sometimes God closes the door but opens a window. You know what? TNA World Title match, cool. Just like cool. I don't know. But he's got this manager with him, or this bimbo called Chelsea, who's never said a word in her life up until now. But Chelsea's like, that Hall of Fame ring, I want it. And Nigel's like, well, whatever Chelsea wants, Chelsea gets. So, like, what he cares about more in this case is the Hall of Fame ring. Everyone wants the Hall of Fame ring. I just hate that. I don't know why they're doing this. And what kills me about the ring, I didn't even mention this before, is that all this is over a WWE Hall of Fame ring. They're fighting over a WWE icon, like this thing that represents the pinnacle of wrestling, the WWE. And you know how much... I'm trying to word this out so even I can explain it. Like, you've got this company, okay? You've got TNA, and you're trying to make your company seem important, seem like it's hip, it's current, it's going to dominate Monday night, it's going to dominate the WWE, but what is your main feud focused around? A WWE Hall of Fame ring. Basically what you're saying is, our wrestling organization is minor, it's insignificant, it doesn't count. What we care about is what the WWE thinks, or like, we care about the legends that the WWE made. We're fighting over a piece of gold that Vince McMahon gave Hulk Hogan, because that's what's really important, is something that Vince McMahon gave Hulk Hogan. It's not about the title, because who gives a shit about the TNA World Title? If you had a WWE ring, now that's important. Am I making any sense with this ring thing? I don't know. And that's where I kind of I lost a bunch of footage. But where it came back was more talking. What was it? Angle comes into Hulk Hogan's office, and apparently he's worried. I got the second half of this conversation where he's like, I don't know if you should be wrestling, Hulk. You know, your knees are a pile of shit. And Hogan's like, you should be talking, brother. Your neck is a pile of shit, and you've been wrestling 10 years past your... Like, seriously? I am amazed. I have so much respect for Kurt Angle, the fact that he has been able to tough out the amount of pain that man goes through every day in his neck is stunning. In fact, I actually thought about 10 years ago that Kurt Angle would retire because his neck is garbage right now. I've been like, you know how I said like Hulk Hogan's knees must look like a pile of, like if you x-rayed it, it'd probably look like a sack of broken glass. That's Kurt Angle's neck. And the fact that he is still wrestling with that. Now, he's not wrestling anywhere near 100% like he was back in the day. I'm not saying that at all, but he still busts his ass. And Kurt Angle, the fact he's still going, that's pretty tough. But Hulk Hogan, he kind of like gives this bullshit reason, like, I got to do this so I respect myself, dude. And Angle's like, whatever, and he walks out. Then we go back to Pope for more talking. And Pope, always awesome on the mic, even if he kind of... You know what the Pope reminds me of? He reminds me of The Rock. He really does. The fact that he can go out there, really not say all that much, but the fact he's got such great style, the fact he dresses so outlandishly. I'm looking at him right now. He's got this ridiculous costume on, kind of wearing John Morrison's shades right now, but he's got such style that you kind of wonder why he's not bigger than he is, why he's not much more beloved than he is, because he's got such a unique look, and that is so hard to pull off nowadays. Great name, great character, great everything. And he goes out there and he does everything right, but you know, he kind of they just don't build him right. I mean, he's kind of, I think he's really an unfortunate casualty of the sudden influx of all these washed up wrestlers who got in there. Otherwise, he'd be top of the line. And I'm saying this just as he's got a world title match, you know, for the Four Corners thing, but you get the feeling he's just kind of thrown in there. And what's weird is, and they even mentioned this, that he won the 8-card stud tournament. I don't know why they call it that. But he won this match, and I think that gave him a title match anytime he wants. And yet he's got another title. He's got another title shot right now, so he's got like a free title match. I don't know. Yeah. I remember what I was going to say. They had this thing. This is apparently what I missed. Was probably centered a lot around this. Was Jeff Jarrett, after being forced to flip burgers in the catering office. He looks like such an idiot, I swear to God. You know, Bischoff does this whole thing where he's like, go to the ring, you gotta trust me, Jeff. I'm sorry. And so Jeff is like, all right, I believe you completely, Eric Bischoff, the man who lies all the time and is a total bastard to everyone he meets and is like on camera being a bastard. Sends him back to flip burgers. Now he comes back and he's like, he's mad, of course, and Bischoff, again, lies to him. He's like, look, you want a match? You've got a match. But you've also got you are now head janitor of TNA, and you must now clean the bathrooms. And so he gives him like a hairnet, rubber gloves, and a mop, and he tells him to mop out the men's room. And then he brings Val Venus. I'm not calling him Sean Morley. They bring Val Venus in, who is now a heel because his face turn was a complete disaster. And they had him beat, who did they have him beat? They had him beat Christopher Daniels, and I'm still pissed off about that. But Bischoff tells Daniels that the match that he promised Jeff Jarrett is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere hardcore match in the bathroom. So, so Val Venus jumps Jeff Jarrett in the bathroom with a referee, and I don't even need to tell you how appropriate it is that the first match that I saw on the entire episode of Impact takes place primarily in the men's shitter. But there you go. This match is awful. How are you supposed to get entertained by a match like this? Like the audience doesn't see this unless they see it on the Tron. This is a TV match, and even on TV, it looked terrible. I mean, it's really exposed how crap some of these matches are and how worked some of these moves are. And really, it was just them like slamming each other into the bathroom walls and just kind of them doing fakey punches and fakey kicks. And there's no audience interaction. It's really awkward watching this, especially when you can hear the referee doing, like, saying these weird things, like there's pinfalls in the bathroom, and he's like, 2, baby, that was 2! Falls Count Anywhere match, Jeff. And what was fun, the funniest part of this one was Val Venus is throwing Jeff into the walls, he's bouncing off the bathroom, and he falls down, and Val goes for a cover, and Jeff kicks out, and in the most bored-sounding voice, like he doesn't sound like he's in pain, he goes, "What in the hell's going on?" And the ref's like, "It's a Falls Count Anywhere match, Jeff," and he's like, "Oh," and he just they did this thing where Val Venus like shoves Jeff Jarrett halfway through the bathroom door and starts slamming the door ostensibly into his arm, or what you're supposed to believe is his arm, but he's got his ass like right in the door, so the door is like clearly slamming into his butt and not causing him any damage whatsoever. And, you know, you're thinking, like, why doesn't Jeff just move? But he looks like a complete retard for just, like, standing in the store with his arm in there. And he's like, and then he gets pinned from this. Like, he slams the door into his arm or ass 3 times, and then he just kind of crumples, and Val pins him. He's like, "Let's go see Eric." And then he runs off. And that was your match. I don't know. Oh. And, they're going to... I only saw one of these, but I guess they're going to keep coming back to this. Following up on last week's entertainment and the overarching storyline of where was Mick Foley's suit, in which case we actually did see Mick Foley's suit. He's wearing it again. He got it cleaned. Bischoff sends him to get etiquette lessons. Oh, and hilarity ensues. Let me see. Highlights of this one. It does help that Mick is very funny. But again, I've gone several segments, and the only wrestling match that I've described so far was a bathroom brawl. The etiquette lady tells Mick to walk, and Mick immediately starts doing like the Flair strut, like that's how he walks naturally. He's like, let's see how a gentleman walks, and Flair's like, woo, and he's like, she's like, that's not working. You walk like Frankenstein, and Mick's like, no, Frankenstein, he walks like this, and she's like. And then she's like, she starts teaching him how to sit like a gentleman unbuttons his jacket when you sit down. And Mick's like, well, wouldn't it just save time if I had my jacket unbuttoned all the time? I don't know. And then they go backstage for more talking, where Jeff is having the trainer look at his arm, and he's like, no, hurts, hurts. And then Bischoff comes in, because Bischoff must be in every scene. And he starts fucking around with Jarrett's arm. He's like, shh, don't tell anyone. So he like wrenches his arm back up. And Jeff, instead of immediately beating his ass, goes, "What are you doing? That wasn't a match. That wasn't fair." And Bischoff's like, "You're so picky." He's like, "I wanted a match, not a match in a thing with the bathroom." And I'm wondering why they didn't just cut and shoot this whole thing over again, because like Jarrett did not have it this take. He's like, "I wanted a real match. There was not a ring within the thing with what do you call them, 100 yards." And Bischoff is like, "You know what, Jeff? You're right. I'll give you a match right away." He's like, "You better get to the ring, and I hope you heal fast." And Jarrett, being the idiot that he is, he's like, "I better get ready," and he goes off. It's like. Okay, I'm going to watch more of the show. Be right back. Oh, I apologize. I forgot in the middle of this there was a match. And that was a match between the global champion, Big Rob Terry, and this is Doug Williams, who is the X Division champion. And I kid you not, I have gone about 2 months not knowing who the X Division champion was. Wow. I had no clue that Doug Williams... I saw this gold belt around Doug Williams' waist. A, not even really knowing who Doug Williams fucking was. And 2, he's like, he's X Division champion? Apparently he won it in the whole Feast or Fire thing, which instigated the breakup between Rob Terry and the British Invasion. Whatever. I was just... You ever do that where you're watching a show... And then these champions come out, like this usually happens on WWE. When the tag team champions come out and I go, those guys are tag champs? Like, whoa. Did not know that. This was the same thing with the X Division. I see Doug Williams come out. He's got this belt. I'm like, what? Wow. Oh. And then, of course, Rob Terry squashes him flat in like 2 minutes. Short match. And actually... You know, I don't like that they're actually killing the X Division champion that fast. But if you forget that, that's probably how you should put over Rob Terry. That dude looks fucking jacked. The guy reminds me, seriously, of the Ultimate Warrior when the Ultimate Warrior was kind of running wild in the WWF. He's got a really good look. The dude looks jacked up beyond all belief. He looks like he could fucking murder you. Man, most of the other guys, he looks like he could snap them like a Twix bar. Just that dude is fucking huge. I can't believe how big that guy is. He looks like a fucking ruiner, man. But yeah, the X Division champion killed in 2 minutes. Killed pretty dead, too. He basically got no offense in. Which is, seriously, that X Division has kind of a long pedigree, but how unimportant is that title now, man? I tell you. That belt means nothing. After that, Brutus Magnus comes in. They lay him out. Then we go backstage. I'm looking at it right now. We're going to be back to Abyss and Hogan for more talking. Yeah, lots more talking. They had this segment where Abyss is talking to Hogan, and they're really trying hard to put over this ring. I know I keep going on about the fucking ring, but that's only because they keep going on about the fucking ring. They keep doing this thing where Abyss is now worried about Hogan as well. He's like, I'm afraid you're going to get hurt, Hulk, but now that I've got this ring, now that I've got all the power of Hulkamania, it's like, I don't even need you there because you're with me here, and I've got all your powers. And Hulk is like, and so Abyss keeps going on like, when I was a little boy, and as soon as he starts winding into that, Hulk immediately starts going like, dude, you don't need to go here. Like, he's like, no, I want to tell you. He's like, you don't need to tell me this. Like, he really doesn't want to hear it. Not like he's concerned for Abyss, but because if some guy's telling you a story and you really don't want to hear it, you're like, I don't need to hear this. Like, Hogan's going like, I really don't want to. He's like, no, I gotta tell you. I have to tell you. He's like, my mom wouldn't let me watch TV, so I would sneak into the room and watch on this old TV. I would watch you wrestle, Hulk, and I believed in you. And I saw you live at a wrestling event in Dayton, Ohio. And he's like, I believed in you. I felt the power of Hulkamania, the Hulkamania that's in this ring. And so he keeps going on and on and on about the ring. And so eventually Hulk's like, I love you, brother. He's like, I know that when I gave you this ring, I gave it to you because I knew that you would protect me. And he's like, you are now everything that I am, and all the kids who believe in Hulkamania will believe in you, dude. And all the kids around America are being like, no, we don't. So like, they're trying to do this thing where, hang on a second. Yeah, checking my microphone. They're trying to do this thing where they're kind of like putting an equal sign, like Hulk Hogan equals Abyss. So eventually that now when we see Abyss come out, we will pop for him like he's Hulk Hogan. And I'm not really getting that. But whatever, they're hyping the match. I can't complain about that. I can complain that this took about 5 minutes to describe what... it took me 30 seconds to describe what happens in about 5 minutes of Abyss telling this really long story. Really, the only thing I could watch this whole time is that Abyss's arm, his whole arm is like this massive scar tissue. It's kind of grotesque. And I've seen Abyss where he's been in these like barbed wire matches and thumbtack matches, and I've seen him do this thing where... you know how a lot of wrestlers will like cut their foreheads and bleed like that? Abyss does this thing where he cuts his arm. And I've seen him bleed really badly out of his arm and get in this match where I think he actually hurt himself rather badly cutting, I think, like an artery in his arm or something like that. It was bad. He bleeding really bad. And these scars are huge. Like, not minor stuff and not surgical scars. This guy has maimed himself in the past. And, I mean, that's why I respect Abyss as a wrestler, because, like, that dude will fucking kill himself if you let him. And they really shouldn't let him. Anyway, they start recapping the Beautiful People feud with Angelina Love, which actually I do remember quite a bit because it's been going on pretty steadily for a while now. And they kind of recapped how Angelina got hurt, so they replaced her with Lacey Von Erich. Bad choice. But they do this thing where Angelina Love is mad that they replaced her, so she's fighting them. Doesn't seem like that smart a move because there's 3 of them and 1 of her. Whatever. They cut back to earlier today where... I forget her name now. Angelina Love is posing for a photo shoot, and she gets jumped backstage. And they hold her against a guardrail, and they start whipping her with a belt. And ordinarily, I guess I should never complain about the scene of 3 lovely women whipping another lovely young woman. Could be worse, I guess. But it cuts to now, where in the ring, Angelina comes there and she's all bruised up, and she actually is. She looks pretty badly bruised up from that whipping. I don't think they faked that. That looked pretty savage. The kind of welt she got, especially since the belt she got whipped with has these like metal grommets in it, and you could actually see the grommets on her midsection. You're like, ooh, ow! So she comes out and she's like, I'm not leaving until you come out. And so, of course, Velvet Sky comes out and she's got the belt. She's looking really smug, like, oh, you really want more of this belt? And I'm like, yes, I do, please. So she's like, she's looking all smug. And then all of a sudden, Angelina comes charging up the ramp, and her Velvet's attitude changes immediately from like badass smugness to ah! And she runs off. She's like, ah! And she is literally running around the ring like a girl, like wrists flapping, like, no, please, no, God, there's a rat in the room. Ah! And I'm not really saying that's how girls run. I'm just saying, like, the stereotypical girly, like, no, run. So she gets caught, and Angelina starts beating the shit out of her. And, of course, the beautiful people come and make the save and beat her with a big pink nightstick. Seriously. And it goes about as well as you think it would. What else was I going to... Yeah, Taz has some weird lines where he's talking like about finely sculpted midsections and piston-like thighs. Sometimes I think he gets a little too interested, but yeah, that's the whole story. That's what made me laugh, was the badass demeanor shift from smug to like, no! Anyway, we're going back to more talking with Hogan. Back in a minute. Great segment. More talking, I know, but... Bubba the Love Sponge comes into Hulk Hogan's office, and my first reaction is, holy shit, he still works here? And he comes in, and he's pissed. He's like, Hulk, you promised, Hulk. You promised you wouldn't wrestle again. You promised your family, you promised the fans, you promised Dixie, you promised me. You wouldn't wrestle again. You are not gonna walk out of this match. You're gonna be crippled, Terry. And yeah, he starts calling him Terry because, we're shooting now. But he's like, Terry, you promised. And what made me laugh after that, after the whole Bubba still working thing, after the whole fuck Haiti incident, but whatever, is that Hulk Hogan says, he's like, look, brother, the only thing that ever loved me, the only thing that never left me was this business, and I gotta do this, dude. And what was funny about that was, he said that whole line about the only thing that ever loved me and the only thing that never left me, he said that not 5 minutes ago about the fucking Hall of Fame ring. And he said that several times before. But he's like, the only thing that never loved me was this business, dude, and I gotta do this for myself. I gotta. And Bubba is like, why? And Hulk is like, I gotta, because I'm a man and I have to. And Bubba's like, you're a liar, Terry. And Hulk's like, but I got to. It's what a man's got to do. And Bubba's like, you make no sense. And he just like storms out. I miss wrestling. This show actually is entertaining me more, and I don't know if I'm just getting delusional or getting like gradually unhinged about this whole thing. Maybe I'm just getting used to the fact that there's no fucking wrestling on this show, but I'm not as mad because there is more physicality in this show, but it's not wrestling. It's not like official matches. Like even the wrestling that we've had, it's pretty much all been brawls, like pull-apart brawls. Okay, I guess I'll come back to this in a minute, but like the first match I saw was the Jeff Jarrett Val Venus clusterfuck in the bathroom. Can you count that as a match? I don't think so. I mean, if it was better, maybe, but it was just they slammed their heads into bathroom walls a couple times, and that was it. The Kurt Angle thing. Did I mention this Kurt Angle thing? I don't think so. They did this thing where Ken Anderson comes out wearing a cookie sheet that says loser on it, and he's dressed like Kurt Angle, has a bald cap on. And he starts going on and on about the metal. Really, he's talking about how injury-prone Angle is, that he's broken his neck a bunch of times. That's where I started talking about Angle. Was that he starts going about, like, oh, I broke my neck just now. Ooh, I broke my freaking neck. That's what Angle always used to say in the WWF. And then Angle comes out and starts brawling with him. It's just like a brawl on the outside. Ken throws a beer in his face, gives him the Angle slam, and that's kind of it. There was really nothing to it. So there was fighting, which good thing, but not a match. The beautiful people thing, fighting, but not a match. In fact, I don't know if we've actually seen a match. Oh, no, the Rob Terry thing. That was a match, and it was a 2-minute squash match. But all told, we probably have seen more physicality in this show than we did last week, which I don't know if you can equate that, but I think if I were to look back on this show, which ain't over yet, and there is a promised Jeff Jarrett match, so I got to look forward to that. But seriously, man, I'm just wondering, like, where is the wrestling? The brawling in the bathroom, the brawling with the ladies spanking each other. It's action. I guess it counts as action, but it's not wrestling. Man, if they just booked 10 minutes and said, like, you two go out there, wrestle for 10 minutes. That simple concept of one guy against another guy, 10 minutes wrestling, eventually one guy gets pinned, that simple concept seems to elude the entirety of this show. And I don't get why that is. I mean, that's like the foundation of the wrestling show. And, for all you might complain against WWE for having stupid storylines, and having stupid actors, pushing the wrong people, making titles worthless. I can't complain with you either. But more often than not, most times in a show, you can point to 1 or 2 matches that kind of stretch on for a sufficient length of time, and you say, that was a wrestling match. Last week, probably not so much, but most of the time, they can put on matches, and it's a match, it's fine. But, okay, I'll get back to this in a second. I'm going to watch more of the show. Oh, man, that was good. This is what I'm talking about, is they finally put on some matches, and the show picked up. Finally! This is what happened. Seriously, smiling, because I saw wrestling. Okay, first match comes out is Tomko, who I call Goat Boy. If you've seen Tomko, I don't think anyone else calls him Goat Boy but me, but I call him Goat Boy. Tomko against Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's still coming out to no music. He's just coming out stark, because since he has to start from the bottom, he has to start with no music, whatever. It was a decent match. Nothing epic, but, I'll take what I can get. What I took away from this was Tomko is really out of shape. It sounds weird, but he seriously has about 30 pounds overweight. He's not looking good. I mean, he's still very athletic, more athletic than my flabby ass, but still, I mean, when that's what you do, he's not looking very good. Jeff Jarrett was actually in far better shape. I mean, he's a smaller guy, of course, but still. But it was a good match. The ending came when I think it was an Oklahoma roll in the corner, but it was kind of like Jeff is a better wrestler, but he was hurt, and so Tomko was kind of being cocky, working over the arm and trying to trying to slam him on the arm. But Jeff Jarrett is the wily veteran, and so he wins. Bischoff is like, motherfucking, and then they go back for more talking we go back for more Bischoff. So what happened? Like, now Hogan's in a chair and Bischoff sits down and he's like, look, man, I got to talk to you about this match. I don't think you should wrestle this match. That's like every other segment has been people coming up to Hogan saying, like, you shouldn't wrestle this match. Your knees are shit. You're going to be crippled from this. And it's every bit as interesting as it was the last 3 times I repeated this segment, where Hogan's like, I got to do what I got to do, brother. And everyone's like, why? He's like, well, respect and brother and brother. And Bischoff's like, whatever. And then, it's the same stuff. But finally we get to the big title match, which, again, I'd forgotten. But here's the thing. I liked this match, but it wasn't a good match. And I'm not... The real story of this match was the fact that the Pope had injured his ankle, and I probably didn't mention this last week, that what happened was they like Ric Flair and AJ don't like the Pope. So, like, Pope's got a title shot because he won the 8-card stud tournament. Still don't know why they call it that. And they stuck Pope's ankle in a chair, and they Pillmanized his ankle, and they put him in the figure 4, and he's hurt really bad. And so they're telling us that, like, his ankle's hurt bad. He's got an injured Achilles, which, if he had an injured Achilles, he wouldn't be in the fucking arena. But they're telling us, like, oh, injured Achilles, because that's like the most serious ankle injury you can have. So they probably just like, what's the most serious ankle injury you can have? Achilles? Yeah, he has that. So you're like thinking, oh, he's hurting bad. Because, I mean, so, okay, what the Achilles injury is, like, Edge tore his Achilles tendon, and that'll put you out for like a year at least. And it's bad because it doesn't heal right. It doesn't heal fast. But the whole story of this match was kind of Desmond and Abyss were doing their thing, kind of fighting outside the ring, but everyone was picking on the Pope's ankle because he was hurt. He's limping on the way to the ring. Like, he's limping bad. He was limping like I was when I had my Jones fracture. So seriously, he was not looking happy. And actually, he was doing a better job selling the ankle injury than Bret Hart was coming down to the ring. He was like, Bret had the crutch on the wrong side. He was walking on a walking cast like a week after shattering his leg, allegedly. Not a good job from Bret there. I got to tell you, Bret was not good. But eventually, the finish of this match, during this match, Taz brings up, I don't know why he brought this up, but he goes, they're watching these guys pick apart Pope's ankle, and he goes, you know, Samoa Joe would have been a good opponent for this match if he hadn't been abducted 2 weeks ago. And you go, yeah, he did, didn't he? He got abducted by ninjas, right? And Tenay's like, right. I wonder where he is. And Tad's like, I've been calling, I've been talking to people, I've been leaving voicemails, and I even started checking to see if the authorities have been called. I was like, really? 2 weeks after you saw the man abducted by ninjas, you're just now checking to see if the authorities have been called, and you're still not sure. He's checking. He's got feelers on the street. He's asking Joey Numbers if the cops have been called to deal with the ninja issue. But he's not sure yet. If you were Samoa Joe, purely hypothetical, you're in a ninja compound being tortured by the ninjas, and you're like, someone will come to save me. They're looking into this. No, the cops have not been called. 2 weeks after the fact. They are not looking for your ass. You're at the mercy of the ninjas, Joe. You know what we got to see? We got to see a movie, or at least we got to dedicate an episode of Impact to just the escape, like Joe's escape from the ninja lair, where like they could shoot this like the Marine 3 or something like that, where Joe is like fucking killing ninjas on the way out of the show. That would be an awesome show. Him killing ninjas. Like just Joe, like muscle buster. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, Taz, he's like, you know, I wonder where Joe is. Like, I don't know where Joe is. Why don't you look into that? He's like, the extent of Taz looking into this was like, I'm going to open my phone up and dial his number. Well, he's not answering. That's Taz. Like, nobody else looks at that. And you know what's funny is, the reason I bring Taz up on this one is that Taz is the guy who was supposedly like Joe's mentor. This was an angle that was dropped almost as soon as they brought it up, where like Joe's all directionless, he's losing matches, he doesn't give a shit. And then all of a sudden, that was Taz's big comeback. Like, before Taz had come back, he returns, he's got the towel over his head, he's looking all mysterious, he's looking all intense, you know, he's all FTW and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, Joe was like inspired, like he's fired up. He's like, Joe, Taz is my mentor! It was kind of like, you know how like Undertaker, like with Paul Bearer, like Undertaker would get beat down and Paul Bearer would be outside and he'd hold the urn up and all of a sudden Taker would be like, yes! Yes, I understand now. The urn power. That was how like Joe was. Like Joe would look outside, see Taz, and be like, "Yeah!" And he'd fire up and he'd fucking kill the guy. And that was like 1 week they did that. One. And then they just forgot about it. But like Joe was allegedly this big mentor to Joe, and he's like, "I'm gonna be looking for Joe." Nope, he's not home. It was great. So the finish came back to present times. Was I don't know where the hell Abyss and Desmond were. Like, Abyss throws a clothesline, hits the post, and he goes down, so I guess Hulkamania's no-selling powers only go so far. Desmond, I don't know what the fuck happened to Desmond. I guess he just kind of passed out. But AJ starts, like, swatting at the ankle of Pope. Pope's selling the ankle like crazy. And then all of a sudden the referee gets involved, and while the referee's tied up with AJ, Ric Flair takes this fucking folding chair and starts just laying into the ankle like 3 times. Bam! 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 And the referee, God bless his soul. I know you go on about the blind referees, but he's yelling at AJ. He's like, and AJ's trying to keep him busy. He's like, I got things to tell you, referee. And the referee's like, you go, stop beating him up. And then all of a sudden in the background, in the like gunshots, you hear bang, bang, and the referee, he's like, I hear nothing. And he turns around and fucking Pope is grabbing. He's like, oh Jesus Christ, ah! And the referee's like, what happened? And Flair's got this chair. He's like, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta love wrestling. And the finish came with AJ putting Pope in the figure 4. Pope won't tap out. He's screaming, I won't give up! I won't give up! And then he kind of like starts to fade, and the ref it's a referee stoppage, which actually you rarely see referee stoppages in wrestling. In fact, the reason I like this match is because it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Bret Hart-Austin match, which ended in like a referee stoppage. When Bret had Austin in the sharpshooter, Austin wouldn't quit, but he passed out, ref stopped the match. And I was like, that was one of those cases where, a guy actually came out so much stronger, in fact, was made as a star by losing a match to a submission hold because he wouldn't give up. And, that's why I kind of like that, because that's the kind of performance, and Pope did a really good job selling that, to where you can really buy him kind of being elevated to a star. It's a shame, though, that it was not a very good match. And it was for a lot of reasons. One is this should have been a one-on-one match with AJ and the Pope. And in fact, you could have bought Bischoff making a match, because he's a heel character. He'd be like, oh, Pope, you get a title match, and like Pope's all, but my ankle's hurt. He's like, too bad, you got your match tonight. And so you could have had this thing where Pope gets his match. It's not fair because he's hurt. And you had this great match between Pope and AJ. AJ wins by submission. That was like, you could have told this so much better, so much more almost poetically with this match between these two. Would have worked really, really well. And I wish I'd seen that match. But still, this was an okay match, because you actually had wrestlers wrestling. And like I said, when you have them wrestling, it's a decent show. And so we had 2 matches in a row. The action was okay. Not how I would have booked it, but okay. I think you could have put Pope over so much better on a one-on-one match, but whatever. Okay, so they start, like, the bell rings, AJ wins. They start beating up Pope. Abyss comes in, tries to make the save. Desmond Wolfe, weirdly, he comes in the ring, and at first he kind of seems upset that he didn't win the match, or like he lost, he didn't get the title. But again, like, he doesn't seem to care after a minute, because he just like, fuck it, I'll beat up the Pope, and he starts beating up the Pope, because bad guys all get along for some reason. That's what I mean, is they don't make the title seem as major as it really should. Like, I remembered why I didn't like Nigel McGuinness's speech about how he kind of buried the title, where he was like, Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Same thing. Every time someone mentions Rick, they kind of say that line. In fact, it's kind of lost a lot of its meaning. But he says, but I don't have to beat the man because it's a 4-way match and I can beat anybody. And I was like, wow. That kind of minimizes the importance of the title, doesn't it? Because he's like, I'm perfectly happy stealing the title. But anyway, he starts beating up the Pope. Abyss comes in, starts clearing house. Rick gets the barbed wire baseball bat and starts laying into Abyss with it, starts like beating up with it. At this point, I have to mention, I know it's bad hitting the guy with real barbed wire and a real baseball bat, and you're not really supposed to hit the guy, but the barbed wire they got on that bat looks so fucking fake. It looks like it's plastic barbed wire, and it looks like plastic barbed wire. It in no way looks real, and especially, like, if you were doing this in front of a live audience, like it's thousands and thousands of people, you could probably get away with that, because nobody can see it. They see like this bat with shit around it, and they're like, oh, it's a barbed wire bat. You can get away with that. But now that we got HD TV, and this is kind of a studio show intended mainly for television, and you got this bat wrapped in this gigantic, fakey-looking plastic barbed wire, nobody's buying it, and they get way too close to the bat. Like, if you were going to show, it doesn't look good. But you can suspend your disbelief, I guess. So they start beating up Abyss, and Hogan hits the ring. I shouldn't say hits the ring. He eventually gets to the ring. And what's funny is they see Hogan coming a mile away. He's coming down the ramp, going as fast as he can. They should just get the guy a fucking Segway. Like, yeah, just like have the Hogan segue. Like if he needs to hit the ring, he hits on that segue. He hits the ring, kind of gets off the segue, rolls in. It would save him so much time. So, like, that's so many guys go to the ring so slowly, they could literally save 10 minutes of ring time, of TV time, if they just, like, motorize these motherfuckers. Like, Undertaker, Kevin Nash, and Hogan, slowest motherfuckers coming to the ring. Randy Orton actually lost a match because of how fucking slow he is coming to the ring. I should tell you that story later, but Hogan gets the ring, basically, like, he does the Mannix disarm of the baseball bat. And this was a really glorious moment, I gotta say. For all I bash on not wanting to see Hogan in the ring, this was actually really good and it was because of Flair. I'll tell you, he gets the bat, takes this bat, and he swings it like I want to say pool cue, but that's not quite it, like a battering ram, I guess. He like battering rams this baseball bat at Ric Flair's head, but he doesn't hit him with it. He like cheese graters the barbed wire over his head, which is why I wish the barbed wire looked better than it did. But he cheese graters this bat over Ric Flair, and I watch this, and Ric Flair goes down like fucking with his head, and I'm like, as good as that shot looked, he is going to fucking maul himself with a razor blade. And sure enough, Flair comes up. Flair has fucking scalped himself. Like, I can't believe this dude. This dude, he's laid himself open. Like, it looks bad. I mean, it looks good, but, like, this guy is just, like, gushing, like the Crimson Mask type of Flair. And this dude is fucking out of his mind, but that's why you love him, you know? That's why you love Ric Flair, because this dude is a fucking beast. This dude, he's ripped open. And he's like, you know how he is, like he's trying to like force it open and trying to milk it. He's like begging off, like no, and Hogan like cheese graters him again, and of course he goes down, he cuts himself again. He's like fucking bleeding all over the place. And WWE doesn't do blood anymore. They'll stop matches to stop the blood, which is like, that's Ric Flair. That's half of his repertoire. It's like when you watch a Ric Flair match, you're watching it because you know Flair is going to fucking maim himself. I mean, you hate to watch it, but you love the guy, you know? But man, Flair, he's like, he's just bleeding all over the place. And you're like, that's old school, man. That's hardcore. And like, Flair, that's why, like, you want to see Flair in the ring, but Hogan, that's kind of what TNA has one good thing going over WWE, is the fact that they are willing to still show blood. And the fact they haven't shown blood in a long enough time that it still seems like a really, really big deal that these wrestlers are fucking bleeding in the ring. It's awesome. It's good. And I'm watching this and I'm being entertained. They're fighting. They're doing like old school wrestling shit. They're having matches. And it's good. I can't believe that. But like, is it so wrong of me to admit that when Impact just shuts the fuck up and starts wrestling, it's good? And, like, okay, Hogan and Flair, not my first picks to be in the ring, but when you let Flair does what he does best, when you let Hogan do what he does best, which is not really move and just kind of turret punch people, he does that okay. He talks really well. I think he's the best promo they got in WWE right now next to Flair. If they let him manage a guy, I think that would be okay. Like, let him manage Abyss. That's fine. Man, just that's why this is a better show. This is a better show than last week because they shut up and they wrestle. And Tenay has threatened that after I don't know why they can't just stop the show when it's a logical turning point to stop the show. Like Hogan has driven off the bad guys. Flair is busted open. He's paid back for busting Hogan open last week. He's vowing revenge. He's bleeding all over the place. Good place to end the show. But no, Tenay is like, we'll be right back. We got to see more of this. And I'm like, they're going to fuck this up. They're going to fuck it up bad. So I'll be back one more time, and I'll tell you how they wrap this up. But I just know they're going to screw this up. It was just really Hogan just yelling down at Flair, and Flair looks like he's been just ejected from a car wreck. Dude is just bleeding all over the place. I remember what I was going to say about the match. Another reason why it wasn't as good as it could have been is because most of this match took place between commercial breaks. I hate that. You know, it was like one of the two matches they had during this whole fucking show, and half of it takes place during commercial breaks. And you know why that shouldn't happen? Is because the show is taped. Show the match. Cut out the talking. They couldn't have cut out one of the times when they had a guy begging Hogan not to wrestle. They did like 3-4. They couldn't have cut out one of the fucking segments where Mick Foley is taking etiquette lessons. They couldn't have just shown the match. Was that really that hard? I don't know. It's frustrating. It's like I said, this is why they don't do it right. They're not doing it right, you know? Not sure. Oh, and by the way, I guess I'll be back here Monday. I don't know if I'm going to do this every week, because I'll do it if it's really, really bad. This was actually a pretty good show. For Impact. So I think we've kind of run the gamut for like an average show for Impact to kind of a pretty good show for Impact. This couldn't have been more than 15 minutes of wrestling tops, and I'm counting the pull-apart brawls, but man. Anyway, what kind of upset me was as I was watching the commercials for a little bit, fast-forwarding, Final Fantasy, was it 13? Is it 13? I think so. Yeah. That's coming out next week, isn't it? Oh, man. You know, I won't go on too long about this, but what's kind of funny to me is the Final Fantasy fans, I think, are kind of starting to die off. Am I wrong about this? But like, okay, you know, I had this huge controversy brewing because, you know, I kind of ripped on even the first one, which was a joke, but I ripped on that. Like, even though it was an April Fool's joke, I still got a lot of hate there. Like, even if it was a joke, that wasn't fucking funny. But I ripped on, like I said, the first ones were good, and then I started ripping on 7, and I ripped on 8, and people were like, fuck you, Spoony, man. Like those were fucking masterpieces. And then I start talking about how it didn't get bad till 10, and I got hate for that, man. They're like, 10 is the best one! And then I was like 12. I played 12. And I liked 12. But even the hardcore Final Fantasy fans were like, that's where they drew the line, was they were like, this isn't Final Fantasy. Like, this sucks. I remember seeing such diehard Final Fantasy fans heartbroken by this show. They did not like 12, and it was just funny. It's kind of this weird dichotomy going on here, where like we've kind of crossed fandoms. Like, you know, my fandom started really high and started going down, but now we're kind of crossed. Now we're like 12 was the jumping off point, and I know so many people. I've seen fans see the trailers and talk about the general plot. They don't like the far future thing. They don't like how the character. They don't like I don't even know what. I haven't read most of it, but I just know that that's kind of a pessimistic attitude brewing over this 13 one. And am I wrong? You gotta tell me with that. But yes, I probably will end up getting Final Fantasy 13, and I'll end up playing it because this is my hell, and I am cursed to forever subject myself to Final Fantasy. Okay, I've gone on long enough. Enjoy your Impact, Dixie. If you get this, call me. I'll write your show. I'll write it better. If you want me to like cut a promo against Hogan, I'll do that, brother. Come on. You got to show some balls here. You got to improve your show. You can't dominate Monday nights with Hogan Flair. You can only do that once. And I don't even think you're going to do it once, because I think it's just going to be AJ busting his ass in that match. But whatever. Okay. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.